for the design or the design office, just to help him to do the preliminary design and to prepare, if you want, the what I can say, the specification of the ship, to and then to build the ship. So the steps for the commercial process of the ship owner. So it's mean after preparing, if you want to do, or after the doing, if you want, the specification, he can try, if you want, to select a yard, the shipyard, to build his ship. Okay, so he can do it on different manner. The first one, he can ask for request for declaration of interest from the yard. So it's mean just he can send just maybe one page saying, okay, I would like to build this ship with these capacities. Are you interested or not? And the shipyard will say yes or not, and they will send, if you want, the a brochure that what we already done the shipyard, and so on and so on. So it's much more, I can say, commercial things than technical things. And then the owner, he can decide, okay, now I will choose this and this and this shipyard, and he sent, if you want, the specification of the shipyard, ask them to do a quotations for the ship with the special specification that he sent for them. After that, he will analyze the proposal of the yard, and he start also the contract negotiation, and then after that he can sign the contract with the shipyard, and he do the follow up of the construction and then the reception of the ship. And in this step commercial process of the ship owner can ask to the consultant or the naval architect to follow with him this part of the project. So it's mean the selection of the yard, the signature of the contract, and the follow up of the construction, and then the reception of the ship. This is something is very usual if to do if the ship owner doesn't have this experience with the new construction of ships. So generally, the types of project we have three type of project. We call it the routine projects, the creative projects, and innovative projects. The routine project, what it's mean? The routine project, it's mean that the normal projects that you have it very often. For example, if we took the bulk carrier, so the bulk carrier, for me, if you would like to build a new one, it's a routine project. It's nothing very special. Those ships are already known. Everybody known very well those ships. It's nothing new inside those ships. So for me, we can call them the routine projects. And the creative project, it's equivalent to the routine project, but we have something, we introduce something new options inside this project. Okay, for example, you decide to have the fuel cell on board the ship, for example. This is we can say it's a creative project. Why? Because it's something new. We add something new, some special options on the routine project, and then we can say it's a little bit creative project. And innovative one, the innovative is completely different from the routine or creative project. So it means a lot of things are new in this design. We can say the new things, it will be, for example, the hull itself, the type of hull. If it is a catamaran, it's a SWAT with different propulsions, special propulsions with fuel cell, with batteries, and so on and so on. This is an innovative project. Why? Because it's a lot of things. It's completely new and not really a routine project. Generally, the innovative project, it's much more dedicated for small ships. Okay, it's not for the bulk carrier. It's not for the crude oil carriers. It's much more for small ships and military ships. This is if you want the innovative projects, especially for military aspects, for the naval ships. If it's the majority of innovative project is naval ships. How to proceed? So we have two solutions if you wanted to do the construction or to do the design of the new ships. The first one is the ship owner asks a naval architect to do the specification document for him. Oh, this is, if you want, what I have actually a project in Montélimar for the naval, not for for the, yes, for the equivalent to HZS, but in Montélimar for inland navigation. It's the school for inland navigations, and they would like to build two ships, one 50 meters length and the second it's 30 meters length, and to have a convoy. The biggest one, it's for, we can classify it as a passenger ship because we have the student and the professor on board the ship. And the second one, the smallest one, it will be a tanker ship. It's according to the IDN rules, so it's mean the dangerous good transportations for this small unit, which is 30 meters. Okay, it's a tanker. Okay, so this is, if you want, what the school asked me to do for them, to join this school and to do, if you want, with them according to their need, the specification of these two units, and then to help them to choose the shipyard, to follow up the construction, to do the test with them at the end, and to deliver the ship to them. And this is the end of our missions. So it means I will do exactly what I give you here as a solution one. So I will do, I already did the specification. We send this specification to the shipyard. The shipyard give us a quotation, and now we are in the process to choose one of these shipyards to build the ship. We didn't decide, but probably before the end of June, we will have the contract signed between the shipyard and the school to build these two units. And then my role in the second phase is to follow up the construction of the ship, sorry, to follow up the construction of these two units and to do the test at the end and to deliver to Marseille the two units. Okay, this is, if you want, the role that I have. This is exactly the solution number one that I propose to do. So it's mean during the construction, I will follow just only the construction. I will not do the calculation of the structure of office. He will do the design office, will do the shipyard, all the calculation, and they will send it to the client and to me, just only to check and to approve if you want these calculations. Okay, and then but the responsibility of the study and of the construction, it's continue to be under the shipyard. The shipyard is responsible of the result of the construction. Okay. Or the second one, if you want, it's a little bit different, more or less the same steps, but it's completely different because the tender is launched by the ship owner. So it means the ship owner can prepare it, if you want, the specification, or sometimes he doesn't do the specification but give just only the need of the ship owner. Donc the Sherman said, I need a container ships. These container ships can transport, I don't know, 20,000 TEU, and I need to have speed, and then the shipyard will make the design, the complete design, and he proposed to the ship owner a solution with this container ship, and he built the ship and he deliver to the ship owner according to according to the classification structure and so on. So it means according to the rules, according to the classification, and all this element which is necessary if you want to do it, to be to approve, or to have all the document for the flags, and also the authorization for navigation, and so on and so on. So this is, if you want, it should be done by the shipyard and by the design office who take in charge, if you want, the design of the ship. Okay, what is the entity involved in the design process? So we have different entities involved in the design. I can enumerate just here the most important one, which is the ship owner, the ship designer or the design office, the ship builder, the shipyard, the classification society, and the national authorities. This is, if you want, the more important entities involved in the design. So I will explain each of them. So the ship owner, it's the entity that starts and then finish the process. Why? Because the ship owner decide to build the ship, and he do all what he choose the solution one or solution two, as I explained, and at the end he will receive the ship at the end of the process. The ship owner can develop, if you want, the concept design. So it's mean of the ship, so it's mean just only the main dimension of the ship with the small characteristics, and a contract the basic design for a design office, or the probably if the shipyard is very large shipyard, they have their own design office in the shipyard. So it's mean these two, the contract the basic design and the contract the shipbuilding, can be mixed in one items is depend the decision of the ship owner. Okay, because the ship owner can decide to have external design office, and then to make, if you want, another contract with the shipbuilding, and the design office send all the document to shipbuilding shipyard if you wanted to build the ship. So it's mean the ship owner detain the property of the ship after it's built, and but it is not necessary that the same entity, if you want, operate the ship, because probably you have some ship owners, they have a lot of money, they build the ship and they give the operation to another company to do the operations. Okay, this is sometimes it's happened. The ship owner doesn't, if you want, operate the ship that he built. So the designer now is the entity which is responsible of the development of the basic design. And so we will see later on what it's mean, the basic design. So it's mean the basic design. It is include in the basic design the concept design, the preliminary design, and initial design. And all these three parts give a what we call it a basic design. Okay, and he prepared the specification, the technical documents, and all the calculations. And sometimes, if you want, the design office or can be, as I told you, it's outside the shipyard or a department of the shipyard. Okay, it depends the different solution. If you want, you can have independent or you have it in shipyard. It depends on the ship owner, it depends on the shipyard. Generally in the small shipyards, you don't have the design office included in the shipyard. Generally the shipyard do a joint venture with an outside design office to present to the client a complete, a full work. Okay, so also the sometimes the designer do also some subcontract with other units or other entities or other design office, especially for a special calculation. For example, the CFD, the computer fluid dynamics, or finite element calculations. The my company, it's specialized in the calculation of CFD and finite element calculations. So it means from time to time I have sometimes shipyards, sometimes I have the design office. They come to me and ask me to do some specific calculation for them. For example, CFD or seakeeping calculations or finite element calculation, and especially for the finite element calculation, it's the impact. It's the dynamic, if you want, dynamic impact of on the structures, which means sometimes is the grounding, for example, or the impact between two ships, or impact on a fixed structures. So we are my company. It's specialized in that kind of calculations, and so we do it for some shipyard or from some designer or design office. Or shipbuilder, it's responsible, if you want, toward the owner by building the ship complying with the specification and according to the rules and regulations. Okay, and especially this responsibility, if you want, it's much more stronger because if design office, it's a part of the shipyard. So it's mean the responsibility of the shipyard, it's 100%. So because the design need all together, so shipyard and the design office need to build a very good ship, and they are responsible, if you want, according to the owner, to have a good ship at the end. Um, so this is the concerning the design, and now sometimes, if you want, the shipyard, if the if the design office is outside the shipyard, so it means it's if you do a joint venture between the shipyard and the design office, so it's mean the design office will do the complete study for the structure, for the all the equipment it will be on board the ship, and for the production of the ship or the production of the steel material. So it's not mean I don't mean just only they define the thickness, not just if you want to do the all the detailed design, and also to cut all the pieces of steel. It's the job, if you want, generally of the shipyard. And another point which is very important to the shipyard to do it by themselves is to define for the big ships. They are need to define, if you want, a blocks, because they cannot build a completely the ship in one time. So they need to do it in blocks, and these blocks is depend on the availability capacity of the shipyard to do it. Okay, so we will see it for the next week. We will talk more about this production part. So it's mean how to produce a ship. If we are in the small shipyard, it's very easy. We can build the ship just only one piece, in one piece. For example, I will show you at the end of this presentation. We have two or three examples for construction or for building, and you can see that we build the ship completely in one part. But if you would like to do, for example, a container ship or a cruise ships, it's impossible according to the dimension of the ship. It's impossible to do it in one pieces. So you need to prepare, if you want, what we call it a blocks, so a part of the ship, and then you can connect all these blocks together. Okay, and so this blocks is depend on the capacity of lifting of the shipyard and the organization of the shipyard. This is the reason why all the detailed design concerning the manufacturing and assembly, it should be done in the shipyard itself, because it's much more easier for them, because they know exactly the capacity of the shipyard, and they will be able, if you want, to give the right what I can say, the right dimension of the blocks or the element to connect together. Okay? So we will see those in detail the next week. Uh, the shipbuilder also can subcontract the some part of the detailed design. For example, I can tell you that some shipyard, they don't have the capacity to cut the steel completely, the steel in their shipyard. So it means they send these the drawings, the 3D drawings, to other companies, okay, and which this company will do to cut the steel and to send them the cutted steel to the shipyard. This is, if you want, sometimes it's done because the shipyard doesn't have the possible, or you need to be more quickly by cutting the steel. Okay, just I would like to tell you that if you would like to work two shift for welding, okay, you need at least to have a three shift for cutting the steel, okay. And so sometimes the three shift it's not able, if you want to furnish all the cutting steel to the two shift welding groups. Okay, so it's mean the reason why you have some subcontractor if you want to do this detail and to have the cutting steel outside the shipyard. Um, or sometimes they also ask to build some parts or some blocks outside the shipyard because probably they don't have the space to do it, or they have a lot of work, and then they subcontract if you want to do some blocks outside the shipyard, or they can subcontract other shipyard if you want to do these blocks. All these things should be under, if you want, the responsibility of the shipyard who signed the contract with the ship owner. So it means the subcontractor doesn't have a contact directly with the ship owner, but their contact is the shipyard itself, because the ship owner signed the contract with one shipyard, not with the subcontractors. So it means if any problem, the ship owner should ask the shipyard to repair and not to ask the subcontractor. Okay, so this is something which is very important to know, that you have nothing to do with the subcontractor, because your contract is with the shipyard itself, and the shipyard is responsible of the complete work for the ship. Okay,